Hello everyone and welcome to our 14th lesson for the ESL Online program for the Literacy Council of Highlands. I hope that you have been staying safe and staying busy, and I hope that you have been keeping up with the election coverage. I know it's a lot to process, and I hope that you have not been stressed like I have been. I have not slept since the results started to come in. Anyways, hopefully we will know all the results soon and we can start to get back to our normal lives. Hola a todos y bienvenidos a nuestra lección número 14 por parte del Literacy Council de Highlands. Espero que se han estado manteniendo seguros y ocupados y espero que han estado viendo los resultados de las elecciones. Es un tiempo muy fascinante de la historia de este país, pero también muy estresante. Yo no he dormido desde que empezaron a entrar los resultados. Entonces esperemos que los tengamos pronto y que ya podamos regresar a nuestra vida normal. Bueno, comencemos la lección. Before we read the article, let's look at some of the vocabulary that you'll see in the article. I want you to listen for it and also look for it as you're reading it and as you're listening to it. And then after we finish the article, we'll go over the meanings. Paragraph 1, event, conducted, cause, survey, tensest, co-founder, anxiety, coverage, paragraph 2, coverage, relieve, popularity, effective, gain, prepared, clear. All right, let's go to the article. All right, let's get started on our lesson, which is about the election, but not about any of the candidates. It is titled Stress Baking Helped During the U.S. Election. The 2020 U.S. presidential election was a stressful event for many people. A poll conducted by the marketing research company OnePoll found that the election was a main cause of stress in 49% of people. Only COVID-19 caused greater stress. The poll found that 55% of the 2,000 adults in the survey believed that November 3rd, 2020 would be the tensest day yet this year. In addition, 59% said they couldn't imagine being more stressed than they already were. Furthermore, 67% wanted 2020 to be over. Naomi Harabayashi, co-founder of the self-care app Shine, said, "It's not just the election anxiety. This year has been a marathon of stress. These are not normal times." The months of nonstop news coverage caused many people to get stressed out. One thing many people did to relieve stress was to bake. Stress baking rose in popularity in 2020. More cakes and bread have been going into ovens in the run-up to the election. Stress baking is now in the top 5 most effective self-care practices of 2020. The poll found that 27% of people used baking as a stress reliever. Unfortunately, 41% of people said the stresses of 2020 caused them to gain weight. One American woman said stress baking reduced her election stress. She said, "I'm prepared to have a post-election plan. In reality, we probably won't have a clear winner for weeks after Election Day." So we're going to go back to the old lesson plan that we did. We're going to review some of the vocabulary words and go over the meanings of the words that we reviewed and then do some activities related to the article. All right, so let's go over the meaning of the vocab words. All right, let's look at the vocabulary matching. We'll read the words and read their meanings. In paragraph 1, number 1, event is a thing that happens, especially one that is planned or important. 2, conducted, is C, done or carried out. Number 3 is cause, E, make something happen. Number 4, survey, is F, a study of the opinions or experiences of a group of people based on a number of questions. 5, tensest, causing or showing the most stress and nervousness. 6, co-founder, is B, one of the people who started a company, website, organization, etc. with another person or other people. 7, anxiety, is G, a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease about something that will happen soon, which is what probably everyone is feeling right now about this election. Number 2, 8, coverage, is J, the amount of news reporting by TV and radio stations, newspapers, and the internet. Number 9, relieve. Relieve is L, make pain, stress, or difficulty to become less serious. Number 10, popular. Popularity is N, being liked, admired, or supported by many people. Number 11, effective, is I, successful in giving the results you wanted. Number 12, gain, is H, increase the amount or rate of something like weight or speed. Number 13, prepared, ready for something to happen. And number 14, clear, easy to see or understand. So put it on pause, look over them, look over the meanings, and then go back to the article and see if the words that you didn't know make sense now. I do want you guys to put the article and the things that we're working on pause so that you can do them yourself, and then you can always go back and check them. All right, let's go on. So how many of you have been stress relief baking this 2020? I have not, mainly because I haven't had time, but if I could, I would. I thought we would look over a few items that you would probably use for baking, and then maybe go over a recipe and see if you could do it yourself, or just so you know what some of the words are that you'll see in a recipe. So here we have a bowl, a whisk, a weight or a scale, measuring spoons, a measuring cup, a rolling pin, a wooden spoon, a cutting board, a baking sheet, baking paper, flour, sugar, butter, brown sugar, egg, and chocolate. Up here, sometimes instead of a wooden spoon, you will see the word spatula, and it's sort of like the spoon, except for it has a plastic tip where you are able to sort of clear out a bowl pretty finely whenever you press it up against. So that's called a spatula. All right, so let's go on to our next activity. All right, let's look at the recipe for banana bread. I love banana bread, and you will probably see this in many places you go. In Starbucks, in the coffee shop here in town, they have a banana bread. It is a classic and a favorite for a lot of people. So some of these we saw in the vocab words that we just went over, but let's go ahead and do this activity. So the first one is match the correct word with each picture. So we have the verbs here and the nouns here. So pour, stir, mix. Loaf pan, bowl, and wire rack. So let's look at the verbs. Pour. So this is going to be pour. You're going to pour a glass of water, or whenever you transfer a liquid to another container is going to be a pour. Stir. So the stir is whenever you make a sort of circle, clockwise, counterclockwise motion. Mix. So mix is whenever you incorporate several things at once. So you could mix the flour and the sugar, and then you could mix something and then, stir it. Nouns, loaf pan. So for a bread, you would normally use a loaf pan. Obviously for a cake, you would use a cake pan or a cake sheet. The wire rack. So that's where you're going to put something to cool. And then, we went over that one. Bowl. Here's your bowl where you're going to put your ingredients. So let's read the directions below for making banana bread. And then down here, we're going to pick out what the ingredients are from the directions. Okay. 1, preheat oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. 2, lightly grease a 9 by 5 inch loaf pan. 3, in a big bowl, mix flour, soda, and salt. So soda means baking soda. In another bowl, mix together butter and brown sugar. Stir in eggs and mashed bananas. Stir banana mix into flour mix. Pour mix into loaf pan. Bake in preheated oven for 60 to 65 minutes. 9. Let bread cool in pan for 10 minutes, then turn out onto a wire rack. So what ingredients did we see in the instructions? So in number 3, we see flour, baking soda, and salt. So that's 1, 2, 3. In number 4, we see butter and brown sugar. So that's 4 and 5. And then we see eggs and mashed bananas in number 5. So that's 6 and 7. So again, we have flour, baking soda, and salt, butter, brown sugar, eggs, and mashed bananas. I really wish that this had given us the full recipe, but I will post one in the next page in case you actually do want to try it out. I like making banana bread, and it is the perfect use for those overly ripe bananas that you have sitting there that you don't want to throw away, but you're not exactly sure what to do with. This is what banana bread was made for. So at the bottom, it just says, go shopping to buy the ingredients. You want to ask, are there any, is there baking soda? Are there bananas? Yes, there is. No, there isn't. How much or how many do you need? I would like 5 bananas. I would like a pound. I would like a box of baking soda. All right, so let's look at the actual recipe in the next page, and hopefully you will want to try it out. So this is the recipe for banana bread that I found that seems to be rather simple. It's actually not a very complex recipe, but you can dress it up by adding either pecans or walnuts. I think the one that you get at Starbucks has walnuts in it, which I love. But anyway, some of the words that we saw are loaf. So this is a loaf. A ripe banana is the one that has turned brown. So it has that very, very strong, fragrant banana smell. Peeled is whenever you take the outer layer off. And mashed is whenever you basically make it into a pulp. We saw baking soda in the other one. Melted butter. Beaten is a little bit different than mixed or stirred. Whenever you beat something, you sort of mix it in a bit of a faster motion. Like you beat eggs whenever you're getting ready to do scrambled eggs. And we saw flour. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So here we see the loaf pan. The word mix, so that's putting the things together. So if you want to try this, I encourage you to do so. Maybe that will help you relieve some election day stress or just pandemic related stress. I am going to go ahead and post some activities from the article that we read that you can do on your own. And for today, we're going to call it a day since it's been a long week for most of us. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Stay safe, and hopefully the election will be over by our next lesson and we'll have some peace and tranquility. All right, see you guys next week.